Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP podcast, episode number 341. I see that Dave has sent a message, and he's also got a shit eating grin on his face, and I'm just a little worried about what it could be. Um, Dave, you weren't supposed to do that. You weren't
Do
supposed to
what?
send that message. Don't worry about it. Um, this is the HP podcast, episode number 341. I'm pretty sure I already said that. I'm Ben, and with me here today, oh, the giggling girls, Dave and Brandon. Hello, boys. How you doing?
What's up?
Dave, how's
Hey,
life?
I'm good, man. Yeah. You know, just getting gaslit by my contractor. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, your
Yeah.
carpet's not getting laid.
I mean, stuff's happening, but what I've learned, and this isn't really like a lesson or anything. I think people just kind of know that contractors are great at, working with their hands, doing blue collar stuff, but they suck at communicating and they suck at writing stuff down.
Hmm.
So, yeah, they say we're going to do this day, and I'm like, cool. And then the day before comes, it's like, so we're going to do this tomorrow. It's like, God, what are you talking about, man? Like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Is it a matter of like they're just not showing up?
they are, but maybe part of it is like I'm being a little bit too. I don't think I am, but like I just like if you say you're going to start the kitchen this day and I empty out all of the cupboards to get everything ready for you, and then suddenly that isn't happening, and then when I question it, I'm gaslit. I'm kind of like, I think I'm paying here. I'm not sure, I like
Right.
I'm okay if it needs to start another day, but just maybe let me know. Is that too much to ask? That kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Don't pretend like you ever said it was going to start the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But we're making good progress, and as I said the other week, I'm in a privileged position to be able to do this kind of stuff, but it is a stressful few weeks for sure. But
Sure.
things are coming along.
Yeah. The thing about contractors that I've noticed is sometimes they just decide not to show up because they get they're either hungover or on a bender, or I mean, that could be anybody, but specifically contractors. Or two, they just got like another job that they also promised they'd do something on a certain day. So they just have to figure out which person is least likely to sue them and screw that person over. So,
Yeah, I get it. And shit happen. I'm a project manager. I know unknown unknowns come up all the time. So if something happened, you can just tell me. It's like something happened. I gotta go to this job. We're gonna be a day late. That's fine. But just pick up the phone and call me. That kind of stuff. The funniest thing is we lost power last week in the morning, and we seem to have a lot of power outages around here,
yeah.
and they don't last long. So I kind of waited a little bit, and then I finally told my contractor, hey, just so you know, we lost power here. It should come back soon. And he ended up canceling everybody like really quickly. And I'm like, can they not just come and start? And he's like, well, how are they going to cut the tile? And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So then the next day they showed up, but the thing they used to cut the tile is a giant paper cutter and it doesn't plug into anything. So that's another thing where I'm like, I think I just got lied to, but I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had when I was working on building the brewery that I had, I got to a point where I was just done with drywall. Like I had put it all up, but I was done finishing it. I couldn't take it anymore. So we finally hired a guy who people told us like he's really good. He's really good and he's really cheap, but like he's a drunk. That's just who he like that's the scenario you're getting into. So just know that like you might have to chase him down. He did a really great job up until like the last day he would have needed to be there, and then he just disappeared, and then multiple days went by and he disappeared. So like I knew where he lived just because like I had a contract with him, and his office was his house. So I like went to his house, which wasn't very far from mine, and knocked on the door, just gonna nicely ask like, when are you coming back? And like I saw him in the window like run by, and then his wife answered the door and told me he was in the hospital, and like this whole scenario ensued. And I was finally like, well, I just saw him like I wasn't peeping in your windows, but like he ran by and I saw him. She's like, oh, well, I mean, he was in the hospital. He's fine. He's better now. I'm like, okay, well, if he's better now, can he come finish the job? And she's like, I don't know. Okay. I don't remember what ended up happening, but I don't think we ended up having him, like, he didn't finish the job. We just did it.
Right.
So.
Did you lose any money?
Yeah, I'm sure we did. Yeah. Probably not a lot because we knew better than to pay somebody in advance fully, but I'm positive I wouldn't have chased him as long. This is almost 10 years ago, over 10 years ago now. I would not have chased him as long and hard as I did had I not had money that I wanted to recoup. So, Bando, hello.
What's up? What's going on? Never had any run-in with any contractors, but
you're like, I am the contractor.
I've heard the tale. I'm the drunk. I'm good, man. I'm good. Had the day off. Played a lot of video games today. Can't really complain too much. Didn't do a whole lot, so it was kind of nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
People who only know about you from the show are going to be like, does this guy ever do anything? Because every week you say, I had the day off because you always have Wednesdays off.
Right, yeah.
But you work like a lot of hours through the week. It's just that every Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I didn't do anything today.
It happens to be the day that's consistent. And so that's the day that, that's the day that we're doing this because it's the only day I ever always have off. But yeah, it was good. I just got out of the shower and I washed
the butthead hair's back.
The what is?
The butthead hair.
Oh, dude. I just got out of the shower and I washed my face, but didn't realize that like the soap went in my hair as well. So I got out of the shower and I'm like starting to dry my hair and I'm like, oh, there's still fucking like body soap in my hair because I was washing my face. And so I just turned the shower on, but didn't really pay too much attention to like the knobs and stuck my head under the water. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of hot, but I'm just brushing it out, real quick. And then I got out of the shower and like my head hurts. It was very hot and I didn't even realize it, but I like scorched the top of my scalp, I think. Just the front, because that's all that was in it. It was the soap from my face. But like my head's kind of sore. But
that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, rookie mistake. But
this is totally different than what you just said. But have you guys ever gotten like a little bit of a sunburn on your head and then you get in the shower and then you're like, ouch?
Yeah.
Even like a mildly warm water burns. I guess it's not just your head, but
yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty. I've been sunburned many times in my life, and it's always you really just got to do the cold.
Yeah,
the cold shower is really just what you need. Poot in chat saying Brandon got that vanilla ice looking hair.
He does.
It's looking
good.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know who Vanilla Ice is?
I know who Vanilla Ice is, but his hair.
It's got a little bit more of a high top, but you're getting there. Yeah. Like Kid and Play from House Party.
I don't know. My hair doesn't look like this, bro. He has more of like a pompadour.
Could you do a pompadour?
You've got the vibe.
I mean, I think I could do whatever, but
could that be a sub incentive now that you're a big streamer?
No, and I'm not a big streamer. I have more bots in my chat than chatters most of the time, so
they're interesting bots too.
and not the ones I paid for, the ones that solicit me.
Yeah.
Like unwanted solicitation. I should just start putting "not interested in your product" as every description of my chat. So
that will not work.
It might do the opposite. Yeah. They're like he's just playing.
Yeah, he's just saying that, playing hard to get.
Yeah, got to be persistent.
Poot says your headache is actually from playing RE6.
Yeah, I don't talk to me about that right now. I'll talk about it later, and I'm gonna try to contain myself.
Fair enough.
My anger.
Well, as mentioned, this is the HP podcast. We talk about video games and Brandon's hair pretty much every week. If you would like to do so, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/handsomephantom for as little as $1 a month. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a call to arms. Every week we're like, oh, if you want to support us, it'd be nice, whatever. And that's still true, honestly. Like, we're fine if we can foot the bill for the show, whatever. But right before the show, I got like an upcoming bill for the service we use to stream this and record it and everything, and it doubled last year, and not from like $3 to $5, from like $250 to $450, $220 to $440. So I'm not saying we're desperate for your money and we'll shut the show down if we don't get it, anything like that. But I'm just saying, if there was a time to want to support the boys on Patreon, this would be a great time to start.
Will show feet.
Brandon and Dave have both. Dave has shown feet. Brandon has
free.
Yeah.
I have
Brandon,
two.
Brandon has said he will and has. So
We're gonna lose patrons from this.
My toenails are still black. They're starting to grow out.
why are your toenails black?
Did you paint him?
Was he not there? You guys don't remember this. Remember I told
I've
you
seen your feet in real life before.
That was the
You
my
painted
toes are
them.
so suckable episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The toenail polish is still there.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, $1 a month, as little as ad-free early access to the audio version. If you're listening to the show, if you're watching the show, you can be here live. You can be here later. Either way, can you spare $1? You can also join us on Discord for totally free. No money grubbing there happening. At handsomephantom.com/Discord. We appreciate having all of you hang out with us in there. And it's nice just to know there's at least a few people who care about us in our lives. We have a lot of people who care about us, and we appreciate you all. Thank you. You guys want to talk about some video games?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Twisted Voxel reports Sony will shift its gaming business model from hardware to a community and engagement-based platform. Quote, during its financial briefing for the quarter ended June 30, 2025, Sony Group Senior Vice President stated, I don't know how to say his name, stated that the company is gradually shifting its gaming division from a hardware-based business model to community and engagement-based platform business model. In the gaming business, we are moving away from hardware-centric business model to more platform business that expands the community and increases engagement. According to him, Sony Group is making a global shift to creation as a company, as the segments of games, music, and pictures make up 60% of its total revenue. For example, he talked about shifting from output devices such as TVs to creation devices such as digital cameras. Furthermore, he brought up services like music streaming, music catalogs, Crunchyroll, and teaming up with Bandai Namco Entertainment in order to create new content and IP. As far as the gaming business is concerned, he noted that the shift towards a platform-based business has been increasing. As per him, Sony Group is transitioning to entertainment creation in order to expand and improve the company's stability and profitability. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but when I think about innovation and moving forward, I think, what better market to double down on than digital cameras?
At this point, yep. At this point.
But no,
1 megapixels. Let's go.
that's obviously not all that was said. And I also don't know that this is what it sounds like on its face. But what do you guys think? Dave, let's start off with you.
My first question is, I'd like to know what community engagement actually means. It's a very kind of broad sense term, and obviously hardware business, that's obvious, and it describes a previous strategy, and it's all about selling as many consoles as possible and doing it so as cheaply as possible. And how do you do that? Good software. So I don't know, when I think of this from kind of a traditional digital business sense, I think of generating ad revenue and generating in ecosystem revenue. So when I think of that in gaming terms, my brain directly goes to games as a service. And I think what Sony is kind of saying here is, despite some of the early failures, we're going to continue to see the company go full bore into their games as a service journey. And I think what this is actually going to materialize to is probably something we can't even fathom from, it's not just going to be games as a service, but like, how can we keep people in Sony's video game ecosystem for as long as possible, if not indefinitely? And that's such a weird thing to think, but like, I honestly think that's kind of the direction that we're going. And for me personally, like, it's really sad because I'm seeing the video game industry as I know it, and the video game industry that I grew up with, slowly deteriorate into something else, which isn't bad. It's just different. It's going in. It's kind of like seeing your favorite band start to retire, and the new music that's coming out is just something that, a lot of other people really enjoy it, but they're all a lot younger than you, and you don't understand the appeal. You might respect the musician, but you just can't help but feel like you're starting to get a bit old. So when I hear this kind of stuff, I feel myself getting old because community engagement, I don't know, it just feels like games as a service or whatever the short-term evolution of that is. So we'll always have the old stuff, I guess, but this could just be my wild interpretation of what community engagement model kind of means from a broad sense. But I don't know, how do you guys interpret what Sony is trying to say?
Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this signals very strange, like a very strange thing to kind of push forward. I don't know why, when they've been so successful with hardware, they would then change the model. I guess maybe they are under the assumption that you can't be out on top forever. So maybe get while the getting's good, or I don't know. Anytime you get community or like that sort of thing involved, I just think like social media type stuff and like music stuff, like trying to make it something it's not. I kind of think about how Xbox tried to make, your Xbox a platform for everything, and how much that failed. And even if Sony's really a big player in the music scene, I mean, I don't know. This kind of feels like a message that's all over the place. I don't think it's a great time to break into any sort of large social presence. I think a lot of the players that are out there right now kind of hold most of the market, and what you're trying to do in that vein would kind of be pointless, I think. The same with music. I mean, I don't really know what they mean by this, and I guess, like we've all said here today, it is kind of vague, but it just strikes me as strange because the hardware has been so successful, why you wouldn't try and push towards continuing that success, and why you would then shift the model to something that to me sounds not only vague, but spaces that are already filled with large players that even if you're Sony, you can't just really step into those sort of things and expect success. So I don't know, man. It's weird. It's very weird to me. I don't really know what to make of it exactly, and the vagueness of it. Maybe it's just PR speak that he's doing right now, just like throwing very general statements out there. But even in its general sense, like it reads strange, like truly for me.
There's one more paragraph, excuse me, at the end of this article that says, more recently, a job listing suggested that the company was further strengthening its multi-platform ambitions. The hiring was for a senior director of multi-platform and account management, a role designed to lead the commercial strategy of PlayStation titles across platforms such as Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. According to the job description, the senior director will report directly to the vice president of commercial management and will be responsible for shaping and executing a global commercial roadmap that extends PlayStation Studios titles beyond the confines of the company's hardware. Boys, I think they just came up with this whole this strategy and digital cameras just so they could put their games on Xbox.
Yeah, I think it maybe sounds better than not like, hey, we're trying to get money from our competitors if we throw in some ridiculous music and
this is a whole new strategy.
Yeah. Look, we make movies and we have music and we also make cameras and TVs, but also we're selling our IP on Xbox in the like footnote. So
the weird thing is like both Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft's a more surprising one, but both of them, it appears, are planning on putting out another box, and not
Yeah.
an iteration of the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series, but a PlayStation 6 or another Xbox, which is, it's weird because, what everything signals is like the single biggest barrier for gaming is having to purchase the box, and the boxes are getting more expensive to buy as a consumer. They're getting more expensive to make as a publisher or a hardware maker. So like the ability to kind of remove that from the equation altogether, that just opens you up to a whole new audience of people who are going to buy what really makes your money, which is your software and your in-game revenue. So from a strategy perspective, I totally get it, but it's still just sad, because I like the boxes. They're interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bet you do. Anything else to talk about here?
We got our first audience member in chat. Thank you. Look, read the chat.
Guys talking to each other, no audience. I think I am your first audience. Hey, well, thank you, Javed.
It's a podcast, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Check up on the English, brother.
That's
first.
They speak better English than you speak anything else, Brandon.
That's okay.
All right, let's start there.
We're on the same level then.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys want to keep talking for nobody?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just for Ahmed.
Hulk's here.
All right. According to Twisted Voxel, Microsoft has officially canceled Contraband, the long-awaited co-op smuggling game developed by Avalanche Studios after nearly 4 years without updates. I just thought of something, though. They're probably on the Handsome Phantom YouTube channel, which, not that the Ben is Handsome YouTube channel has that many viewers, but they're probably like watching on the Handsome Phantom, which probably literally does have one.
Let's take a look.
They both have multiple viewers, Ben. I can confirm that.
Fair enough. Microsoft has canceled Contraband. The news was first reported by Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier, who cited sources familiar with the matter. Schreier also confirmed through a Microsoft spokesperson that OD, the upcoming horror title from Kojima Productions, is still moving forward. Contraband was originally unveiled during the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase in 2021 as a first-party exclusive. It was billed as a cooperative multiplayer game set in the 1970s fictional world of Bayan, described by the developers as a smuggler's paradise. Avalanche Studios, best known for the Just Cause series, had been developing the game using the next generation version of the proprietary Apex engine. Avalanche Studios shared the following in an official statement shortly after Schreier's report. Over the past several years, Avalanche and Xbox have collaborated on Contraband. Active development has now stopped while we evaluate the project's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community since we announced, and we'll give an update on what's next as soon as we can. Dave, I know I saw you talking about this. I barely remember this game being announced.
So do I. Yeah. I rewatched the trailer before the show and vaguely remembered it, but
it was like a teaser. We didn't see
barely.
Anything,
yeah.
For me, it was always, it's the Just Cause. It's not the next Just Cause game, but it's going to be like a similar Just Cause game. And my brain, the first thing it went to was this game was supposed to launch in 2026, and then GTA 6 announced, and Microsoft said, this isn't going to work. And probably a combination of, obviously Microsoft is looking to cut corners, save money, and maybe the project wasn't doing that well. But I think ultimately, like, I think about Just Cause, and I think of that as sort of a traditional game. And what I mean by that is it's kind of an older style game where games were just about, fun and blowing shit up. And I don't know that those games, I'm sure they still sell, but maybe they don't have the mass appeal that they used to. And if this was a game that was just being made as a good game and not having in-game revenue generating tactics, then maybe Microsoft looked at it and says, this is not an opportunity we can take now. And there's kind of two other games that also come to mind when I think about trying to prove that's what happened. One is Evil West, and this is a game that came out in 2023, brand new IP, also a very kind of traditional action game.
It's great.
Like a Gears of War style game. That game sold just over 300,000 copies on Steam, and it was on Game Pass. So my rough estimate is that game maybe sold 500,000 copies. I don't know what the budget was, but for a AAA game like that, I don't think that's a commercial success. It was received pretty well, but probably not something that the publishers really looked at and said we made a good chunk of money out of this. Maybe
Is
they
that a
broke
AAA game?
AAA, double A, it's somewhere in there, you know.
Yeah,
Definitely not
And then-
quad A.
I think about hey man. And then I think about something like Space Marine 2, and there's again another very sort of traditional Gears of War style action game that would have, you know, taken you right back to like 2008, and that game sold 7 million copies. And you know, what's the difference? Well, one is a known IP, one has a massive install base, it was received really, really well, and the other was a risk. And I think Microsoft ultimately looked at this game as a risk and thought this is a bit of an old man's game and it probably is going to lose this money. I think under normal circumstances, when Microsoft is not canceling projects left, right, and center, this game gets released and it probably sells okay and it probably does decent numbers for Game Pass. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised that this game got canceled. And it kind of goes back to the sort of sad stuff I said earlier about, you know, the gaming that we know it is really changing. And games like Contraband, I don't know how well they fit in the future. So yeah, I don't know.
I do wonder. I mean, we know that a lot of these. I would say, like, what was that game? Weird West. Is that what you said?
Evil West.
Evil West. Yeah, Weird West, Wild West, Will Smith.
There is a game called Weird West.
There is, yeah. It came out around the same time, which was probably really sucked for those devs.
Outer Worlds, Outer Wild situation.
Yeah. I've often wondered what those like double A at best games, and I don't mean quality wise, I just mean like budget wise, what they really cost. Because like it seems to me like maybe 5 years ago, I'm talking $30 million. If they sell the game at launch, $60, 500,000 copies, something like that. It's like 30 million, right? Yeah, it's like 30 million. I don't know. I mean, maybe it doesn't make a ton of money, but it doesn't seem like a flop necessarily. And it goes on to sell copies for a long, long time after the fact. But you're right, Dave, that there used to be a lot more of those like mid-tier games. We get a lot of AAA. Well, we get a fair number of AAA games now. We get a billion indies, but we very rarely get those like $40 to $50 mid-tier, but pretty like 7.5, 8 out of 10 games that cost $30-50 million, and you know they just slowly rack up sales over time. Kind of sucks because those are some of my favorite games back in like the 360 PS3 era.
Yeah,
those like middle of the road kind of games. But Brandon, I don't really have anything else to add. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there could have potentially been some room for monetization. I don't know that like what you guys said, it really fits in the landscape right now, but it was a co-op open world game. So I'm not saying there couldn't have been something they could have added in there. But I don't know. It just sucks. I agree with you guys. We didn't get much of a teaser, but I'm interested in anything Avalanche puts out. The Just Cause games are pretty fun by themselves, and imagining doing that sort of thing, even if it's slightly different in a co-op environment, seems interesting. But you know, with the landscape of what's going on with Microsoft right now, it clearly just didn't make sense, or the development was very troubled, and Microsoft knew. They're kind of sniffing this sort of thing out now while they're making cuts. So,
yeah, I know that you know, a lot of business, and I'm sure Microsoft use a lot of like forecasting technology for things, and they measure metrics like online chatter and you know how many people have wishlisted or you know starred the store page or stuff like that, and then they use algorithms of past games and where they were what their trajectory was. So I'd say that there was probably some number crunching, and yeah, this game was like, well, it might make its money back, but it's not a slam dunk, so it's canceled.
right.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
The Hulkster will slam Javed like he slammed Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 screaming Hulkamaniacs at the Pontiac Silverdome in the sky, dude. I'm just thinking about Javed, which I appreciate anybody who pops in and comments and anything, but just coming in and being like, wow, nobody's watching. I should tell them. Like that's funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah, we can see the numbers.
Yeah.
All of
And
us
we don't
can.
care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It is kind of funny though.
Twisted Voxel, once again, on the news tonight, says Nintendo Switch 2 may support DLSS 3.1 technology, according to recent claims by indie development and porting studio Linkspike Games. The information appeared in a technical document published by the company's official website, where they outline specs and unique features of the Switch 2 hardware. The document lists several key features for the Switch 2, including DLSS 3.1, ray tracing, 4K HDR output when docked, and a 120Hz refresh rate in handheld mode, most of which were already known at this point. The technical comparison chart provided by Linkspike Games shows significant hardware improvements over the original Switch. The key part here is the mention of DLSS 3.1. As far as we know, there was never any confirmation from developers, indie or otherwise, that the Switch 2 supported DLSS 3 and above. I don't know, guys. You guys didn't get a Switch 2. Looks like it's a powerhouse. Sorry.
Looks
Suck
like
on that, Brandon.
Needs AI upscaling to run properly, Ben. I'm just kidding. It
Yeah,
runs
so does-
pretty good.
So does your graphics card.
True. No, this is cool though. I think DLSS is awesome. It's part of the reason I purchased an NVIDIA card instead of an AMD card. I like their upscaling technology. So the fact that it's coming to a platform that it wasn't traditionally on before is a win for me because I like the software. So yeah, this is good. And anything a underpowered machine can get, and I'm not saying this condescendingly, it's still not as powerful as some of the other things in the market right now. I'm not being condescending. I think the Switch 2 is great, and I will get one at some point. But it's good that some of the more modern games that may be put on Switch 2 will have this extra boost potentially to frame rate.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I raised two eyebrows when you said you will get one, but then I remembered that From Software game is so.
Yeah.
In the absence of that game, Brandon, would you be
No.
all in eventually? No, okay, interesting.
No, yeah, I probably wouldn't get it. It's really I'm not even doing it for Mario Kart because I've played the Mario Kart on Switch 2 and I don't find it that fun. And then I want to play DK, and because of DK and because of the From game, I probably would have got it just because of the From game. But the fact that I really want to play DK as well, it kind of like is solidifying that I will get it at some point. So
You know what they say. DK, Donkey Kong.
banana.
Ooh, banana. Anything else on this?
I just wonder if the Switch 2 was capable of this, why they would conceal it or not, put it out there in the marketing a little bit more, because it's kind of been a sticking point with the Switch. It's inability to kind of keep up from a software perspective. So I don't know what the secret would be. I was seeing some chatter online that people were speculating that Cyberpunk is already utilizing this in order to run, but I don't, maybe it's not stable. Maybe there's issues with it. I don't know. I don't understand why you would keep this to yourself. Could also
Maybe
just
because
be
it's an old version of DLSS.
right. So it's not worth promoting old. Yeah.
I
Fair
mean,
guess.
but it is.
Yeah, it is worth promoting, but
Is 3.0 what came out for the 30 series cards? I'm assuming that's the way it works.
no. I don't know. I don't think so.
This is an Edwin question. And Javid will have you know that he's one of our regular listeners.
I need a job. Dude, highlight this new message here, Ben.
Hulk, are you still there?
Did
The
now,
Iron Sheik is here.
I don't know that I could say this. Did a
Don't-
certain
don't
area
try.
of the world pick up our podcast today? Like, what time is it? What time? Here, let me Google it. I'm not. It's 5 a.m. That's unlikely. Okay.
Could you
I
host
mean-
our podcasts, Vipul? We need some help there.
Chances that Vapul is also Javed.
I'd say it's high, and I'd
Pretty
say
high.
the chances that both of them are someone else who's regularly here are also high. I don't know who that someone is, but I would bet.
Sir, you help me, sir. God bless. God bless. That's how I help you.
I think
What are
this
we
is
even
you, Brandon.
talking
This is
about?
I've seen your streams lately, and they're following you around the internet. I think,
I think it's
and we're
because,
paying the price.
dude, it's because my insurance company, they got hacked, and so now our stream is.
Wait, really?
Our data got leaked, dude. We're, we signed up for that Kohl's Cash card, and now.
All right. MP First says, if there's one thing old school Call of Duty fans are tired of, it's seeing cartoony and silly skins in the game. From WWE wrestlers Beavis and Butthead to even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the franchise seemingly wants to be like Fortnite so bad that it's laughable at this point. It's not just crossover skins either, as even the design of the original operator skins and cosmetics are leaning on the cartoony side too. There are pink-colored weapons, soldier zombies, and more. It's gotten to a point that fatigue has set in across shooter fans about it. If you're hoping Activision will rein it in Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which is releasing later this year, sadly that doesn't seem to be the case. The Vault Edition of Black Ops 7 will grant the buyer a set of special bonus skins, and thanks to COD Warfare, whom have shared the data mined images to MP First directly, we now have our first look, and let's just say, don't expect these to be grounded in any shape or form. Check out the Vault Edition operator and weapon skins, which follow the past few Call of Duty game design choices. As you can see from the images, there's one with what appears to be a machine gun on his chest, and another that looks like it wouldn't be out of place in a Star Wars game. It's a stark contrast to what gamers have been clamoring for, and that's for the franchise to be more grounded in reality and stop with the silly skins. I got news. I got news for you, Alex, who is probably a very fine person who wrote this article. If they didn't make so much money, meaning if people didn't want them, they wouldn't keep selling them. They wouldn't make more of them.
I would like to
completely
rebut.
I completely agree with Ben. The reason they have not changed this is because they're making money hand over fist. They don't give a fuck if there's supposed fatigue. They're seeing the cash in the back end. Okay. That's what's selling. Why do you think it's gone this way? Everything they do in that series is purely for money. And
if you want us to quit making Skyrim, quit buying it.
Boom. Seriously. And the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be a stark contrast, the next article. But the reality is that people are buying these skins. And that's why when you first start out, they get the more realistic skins, and within 3 months, they go off the rails. Maybe they finally just decided that they're going to lead, and they have been leading for a couple years with the things that make money. I don't like it. I'm not saying that, but I think they're doing this for a reason.
Dave,
David.
you disagree. Why?
So I just to begin, like from a personal standpoint, I can't stand this because I hate jumping into a Call of Duty 2 or 3 months after launch because I normally take a break, and it's like half military, half rave in the lobbies, and it's just so immersion breaking. And it was especially bad with the World War II games where it was like borderline offensive. Like Megan the Stallion was not at Verdun. She shouldn't be in this map. It's unreal. But I do think the tipping point, and I can only say this anecdotally, was the Beavis and Butthead thing. Just because not only were they skins, but it was a completely different art style. So it just kind of, I think they did American Dad too, or something like that. But it's just like, I suspect that Activision has started to see a sharper than normal, like around 6 month decline in concurrent players. They're in a bad spot when it comes to Warzone. And I think that they're going to start to change their tune. And some of the early rumblings coming out of COD 2026 is the game is going to be more grounded, and the post-launch content is also going to be more grounded. So again, I can only say that based on some of the stuff I've been reading and some of the, YouTubers who follow COD religiously. But if that does turn out to be the case, then I think that indicates that Activision has seen a significant enough drop off, and they're not selling enough of these skins to continue the franchise long term in this direction. And that's what I personally want to see. I think Activision is going to they're going to take the L in 2025. They're going to give it to Battlefield. This is their year. But by the time that people are getting bored of Battlefield or sick and tired or angry about stuff, because that's just how these games work, there's a honeymoon phase and then everybody gets angry. Activision is going to come roaring back in with 2026 COD, and I think it's going to be much more grounded, not only just in the game itself, but again in the post-launch content. So, yeah, I do think they're hurting. Not like, Activision hurting, which is doing extraordinarily well for anybody else, but I think, I don't know, I think the Beavis and Butthead thing was the tipping point.
You think it was the tipping point for players, you mean?
Just, enough of the core fan base to walk away. And I think there were other things in there. There's I've heard just the general consensus is that there's fatigue here, so something's got to change, and I think the content is part of it too. But I don't know. And Brandon, you're someone that came to mind too. I mean, you've always been a big COD guy, but you're not really playing much this year. But why have you stopped?
Why have I stopped?
Is it Resident Evil's fault?
No. So I bought last year's iteration. The year before that, I didn't. Modern Warfare 3, and I will continue the trend. I'm not folding again this year. I don't want it, man. This doesn't look grounded. I know what you're saying. They're probably going to take the L this year. And we're going to be talking about Battlefield later, but I'm hoping that this is going to give me my fix, and I think it will. I also have not really been playing as many shooters. I've been branching out into a lot of different types of games, but I'm also feeling pretty old, to be honest with you. I mean, I just don't... It's not the way it used to be.
I can't hang anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have this toxic trait where, like, if I'm not doing good, I don't have fun. And I know that's a problem with me, but it's also a problem with that goddamn SBMM. But yeah, I don't really think I'm interested. I mean, if there's a free weekend or something, I'll probably try it. But I really, especially with how much fun I had with the Battlefield 6 beta, I think that'll probably be my fix this year again. Black Ops 6 was fine, but I also fell off kind of like for years before that. We would be on it for like maybe 4 or 5 months, right? And then everyone would fall off. I feel like it was even shorter than that. I feel like it was like 2 or 3 months and we all fell off. And I fell off, and I usually even play past what some of my friends do, and I'm not getting it anymore, man. I'm just not. So,
yeah, I hopped back in a little while ago and only hopped out because there were other games to play. But I want to say this, Dave. I think I understand what you're saying, but when I was playing a few weeks ago, 80% of the skins I was seeing were Beavis and Butthead. So, like, maybe that just means everybody who was sick of it left. But I'm not exaggerating. Like, multiple matches over multiple nights over multiple weeks. Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead. There was one specific multiplayer game I played where I was the only person in the lobby who was not Beavis or Butthead. And, like, yeah, maybe they're putting a lot of bots in there that have it. Who knows? Maybe the only people are left are the people who bought Beavis and Butthead, but like all of the like crazy skins, you barely see any normal operators from after the first week that a new COD comes out, it seems like. So I don't know. I don't disagree that there's a fatigue, but I don't know if that actually impacts the market. Because we were fatigued on Fortnite skins in 2020.
It's the pay pigs. It's the pay pigs. You know what I mean?
We'll find out in about 18 months.
Yeah.
I don't have that much time, Dave.
Dave, the other thing I was going to ask, and I don't know if I agree or disagree, I'm just clarifying. When you said you think that Battlefield's gonna beat out COD, do you mean numbers wise or just like
social perception?
Sentiment?
Yeah. No, and I think the Game Pass thing is big, and Battlefield is not going to be launching on Game Pass, and COD is always going to top the charts for at least 3-4 months. GTA 6 is going to change that, but no, I think Call of Duty is going to continue to dominate. But I think from a critical standpoint, and I think from the overall sentiment of I think it's going to do much better than 2042. In terms of putting a dent into, I think it will be noticeable. Like, I think if we look at kind of early sales, concurrent player base, and we can see all those things on Steam, I think COD 2025 is going to be much worse off than Battlefield, than COD 2024. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I think Battlefield, EA is doing everything right with Battlefield, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But COD is still going to sell like COD always does.
Yeah. Well, with that conversation, let's talk about Battlefield. Screen Rant says Battlefield 6 has set the record for Steam's most popular open beta, keeping the pace of a massively successful beta period so far. The game cleared 300,000 concurrent players, while the beta still required a key to access, a requirement that's gone away as of this past weekend. Battlefield 6 set the new Steam beta record with 466,000 concurrent players in-game, as recorded by SteamDB. This outdoes the previous record of 463,000 concurrent, set by Monster Hunter Wilds beta test. This also brings the game to the 24th highest concurrent player count of all time on Steam, and the number has continued to climb. I don't actually know what it ended up at the end of the weekend. The hype around Battlefield 6 has been undeniable, with the promising playtest leaks and a back-to-basics approach assuaging community fears that have built up over the last couple of Battlefield releases. The surging popularity of the beta certainly looks promising for the game's success, and it's a definite reminder that Battlefield used to be one of the leaders in the big leagues. Steam numbers don't even paint the complete picture, as you can also play on PlayStation, Xbox, or through the EA app on PC. The sum might still fall short of EA's lofty ambitions for 100 million players when the game releases, but it's nothing to sneeze at. Boys, what do you think about why? Why is Battlefield, after having such a terrible launch for the previous game, and that game just continued to rocket into the ground for like a year until they finally added leaderboards, because that's what saved the game. But why was Battlefield so big right now? Obviously, some of that can be attributed to we just have more PC players than we used to. We're always growing in PC players, but not all of it. Dave, your thoughts?
I think buzz is real, and buzz can do amazing things for your game. And I think a good beta can do amazing things for your game. And I think what a good beta has to be is, first and foremost, it has to work. I think back to the Fallout 76 beta, that put on display a game that was not in an open beta condition, and I think that hurt the game. I think the second thing is a beta needs to showcase the best parts of a game, and in Battlefield's case, it needs to show off a lot of different good parts of the game. So we got conquest, we got close quarters battles, we got a couple other things. It's not just one map type, but it's a bunch of different stuff, which is good, and all the classes. I think it's I think from a technical perspective, a beta needs to be something that gives the developers enough technical data to see if their servers can handle what ultimately they're going to see on launch day, because this is all to inform your launch and if you're ready. And then I think the fourth is good buzz, and you need, if a beta can bring about positive buzz about your game, that's going to drive wish lists, that's going to drive pre-orders, that's just gravy for the launch, and you don't really have to do a whole lot of work after that point to promote your game, other than just make sure the game is in the best state when it launches. And by all accounts, Battlefield 6 has been all of those things. So this is a great thing. And I think about all of the leaks that we were getting from the closed beta for the last several months, the early part of this year. And I kind of wonder, like, how long have they been working on this game, and how quickly do they abandon 2042? Because this game is in a great spot, and we're 10 plus weeks from launch, and this is what we're getting. So I don't know. I really think EA went hard on this game pretty early on. And like, this isn't one studio anymore. Battlefield Studios is like a bunch of different developers have come together to make this, which is really what I think is supposed to be the crown jewel of the series going forward. So I don't know. This is great. We're only just finished the first open beta weekend. The second starts tomorrow, and I think, again, we're going to talk about it in a minute, our feelings about it. But yeah, this deserves to be the best beta of all time, bar none.
Brandon.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people were very upset, clearly, with the last launch, and people have kind of been hungry for a Battlefield like this again since Battlefield 4. I think people that have been fatigued with things like Call of Duty and the bright and the Nicki Minaj's and the unicorn skins and the Beavis and Buttheads. There is a sect of people who just want to play a more realistic, not Tarkov level, but want to play a more realistic, more arcadey shooter. And I feel like there's been things out there like Delta Force, but like there's more games on PC that scratch this itch than are widely accepted. So I feel like they probably made a killing on these consoles, and the beta was really good. We'll get more in depth with it later, but I think it's just a testament to general fatigue and people missing Battlefield the way it was. And I think the social perception and the taste left in people's mouths was too big, and there was an overall buzz about this game generally. Which ends up happening when a big series comes out. There ends up being a lot of buzz. But I feel like the follow through was that it was actually good. It wasn't just you had companies promoting this game, having people stream it. Like when people tried it themselves, I feel like they were actually satisfied with it. And it was something that they remembered. I mean, yeah, I think it's well deserved. Truly, and that's what Dave said, and I agree with it. I think it's good, and I've been ready for a good Battlefield again since Battlefield 4, and I was getting some of those feels, so I'm really, really pleased about it, and I'm happy that it was successful. What I'll say also is that the numbers are great, but they don't truly reflect the amount of people that are going to pay money for your game because it was free. So everyone that was talking about it being a COD killer, I don't think COD is ever going to be fully killed. It's too big, and it's going to do numbers like we said last article as well. But I think this is a really good showing for Battlefield in the future for this game because they do have really long tails as well. So if they support it, man, I'm hoping the best. And it's feeling good. I don't want to get too naive because I end up putting up the blinders a lot whenever these things come out because I'm just excited to play something new, but we'll see.
Well, let's move into what we've been playing because we all played the Battlefield 6 beta. Brandon, let's stick with you to kick it off. Start talking about your experience.
Yeah, man. It was good. It was really good. I was interested in the pre-release, the alpha stuff. I was seeing some good buzz, and like I said, I'm pleased to report that it held up. It held up to the expectations I had, which were honestly, they shouldn't be very high, but they were, because I want to have that experience again. I feel like there is noticeable improvement for dropping last gen. Someone I frequently watch on YouTube, Jack Frags. I don't know if you guys know Jack Frags, but
Yep.
he put out a really good video about Battlefield 6 and some of the things that it has, likely because of them being able to drop last gen. So that was really cool to watch. I'd recommend checking out that video. But yeah, it plays really well. Obviously, it's not ready yet. But for the state it's in, I mean, it's one of the better beta weekends that I've played, especially for a big company, and especially for the amount of players that were on it, and especially for a shooter, because shooters end up, for some reason, I don't know if it's just volume or what, but they end up having like some roughness. Even some of the Call of Duty weekends we've played were buggy messes, not being able to get with your friends and visual glitches and all that. But yeah, I got to admit, it does feel a lot like Battlefield 4. And I was having a hell of a time sniping, which was really my niche in Battlefield 4, and it really did feel like the old days. I had some old music on. I was listening to the Chili Peppers, and like I was like 10 years ago, and playing a Battlefield map, and it actually got me feeling a little nostalgic. So yeah, it was really good. Really, really good.
Dave, kick it over to you. You're not usually you don't stick in shooters for a super long time, traditionally. But what'd you think?
Yeah, so I was big in Battlefield in the starting with Bad Company and I played a decent amount of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and I did actually like Hardline quite a bit. And yeah, I actually went back and played Battlefield 4 a little bit earlier this year, so it was interesting going from that to this. And the first thing that I noticed is there was a definite lighter, looser feel to kind of the aiming and the shooting, which is neither good nor bad. It's just one of the first things that jumped out to me. And I know some of the changes they've announced for the second weekend was some TTK changes. I think that's going to go up slightly. I thought it felt fine, but it 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 felt like the glory days, which I really think was the Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. I think Bad Company is in kind of a separate category, but it really did feel like kind of we're back, baby. And I hate to keep saying that because that's what everybody says, but it's I didn't play a lot. I do want to play more this weekend, but I did check out again some of the close quarters, which I do like Battlefield, but sometimes I want to jump in and be able to squeeze 2 or 3 games in 30 minutes because conquest matches can take a long time. And, if you're not constantly in a tank or a helicopter, you can spend a lot of time running. So I do like that close quarters seems to be something that's going to be there right at launch, because that Battlefield feeling in sort of a COD sized map is a really good cross section for me. So everything felt great. I will say that I think the destruction on some of the maps that I played was a little bit much. Like I felt like buildings were constantly falling down all around me. And maybe that's just, the matches I were in and people were just fucking around with the destruction to see what it was like. It was great, like the way that the buildings do kind of collapse and the audio, like you really need a good pair of headphones for this game or else you're missing out. But it just seemed like stuff was constantly crumbling, like there was an earthquake or something. But yeah, overall, I think like Battlefield is back, baby. I'm very much looking for it. I don't know if I'm going to be day one, just because there's Borderlands and Ghost of Yotei coming out around that time, and I generally like these things to kind of breathe a little bit before I jump in. But very promising for this year. I can definitely say I'm not going to be buying COD this year. I will be in for Battlefield. So
Yeah.
Ben, how did you feel?
I thought it was great. I have not played a Battlefield game. I don't want to say at all because that's not true, but like steadily since Bad Company 2. And I played a little bit of 3. Actually, I played a lot of 3, but not as much as Bad Company 2. I barely touched 4. I didn't touch 2042. I didn't touch 5. But I was kind of like you, Dave, where I used to really love Battlefield and Call of Duty every year, and I'd buy them every time they came out. And this Battlefield feels really solid so far. Obviously, it's a beta. There's a lot of things that can change. There were some buggy things, some hit registration issues, some weird menu stuff. But like, it's not finished, right? Like, I don't think there's any actual substantial changes they can make from now until release. But I understand that like not everything is going to be 100% polished for release status. I tried all the different classes for quite a while. I like that they had the challenges in there to encourage people to try a bunch of different classes. I don't like the fact that people were playing, and this has always been the case. Well, not always. There's been things in place to stop this, but people could just pick a class and get those perks and pick whatever gun they wanted. They did eventually, I think on the second or third day of the beta, introduce I forget what it's called, but a locked conquest where you could, if you're a certain class, you could only play with certain weapons. And I like that a little bit more because it encourages people to play their role more rather than run support and use a sniper so they can have extra ammo or whatever the people are choosing to do. As always, people are people. It's a little irritating when you're like, your whole squad is down and there's 15 medics trampling over your body just to walk by and they're not rezzing you. That's always going to be a problem, but it is what it is, I suppose. It is what it is. But overall, I think it was great. The TTK, as you mentioned, I think was a little fast, but that's not a knock. That's just either a decision or something they're going to tweak. I like the fact that all the guns felt really good, even if I didn't prefer them. There wasn't any of them that I was like, this is absolute garbage of the ones I tried. And the upgrade system is, I'm sorry, the ability to swap out like attachments and everything is pretty solid. It's not, there's not so many different pieces and attachments that you're confused. I was playing Delta Force with Justin a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I'm going to mess with this gun's attachments. There were like 47 different categories of attachments you could put on them, and I'm like, this is too much. So I like the fact that it's just like your normal attachments in a shooter that you put on there. To your point earlier, Dave, or to everybody's point earlier, they mentioned at the like preview that there would not be any movie tie-in or whatever skins. So no Beavis and Butthead in Battlefield this year, it seems. And other than that, I just had a great time playing. I wish I had gotten to play more. I won't be able to play either of the other upcoming weekends because I'll be away for work at Gamescom. But that just means it's going to be sweeter when it actually comes out. I'm probably a day one. I don't see why I wouldn't be because I'm going to get it either way. My God, I can't think or talk when that train's going by. And I know it doesn't bother you guys, but it bothers me because I can't hear myself think. So I'm really excited that I got to play it one weekend and then I'll go away and come back and play it when it actually fully releases. I thought the atmosphere around the game was pretty cool. The discussions around it were neat. Seeing content creators who I used to watch play Battlefield way back in the day and haven't really touched a shooter or at least a Battlefield game since then, playing again was pretty neat. So for lack of a better way to say it, Battlefield's back, baby. Thank you, Dave, for that totally unique catchphrase. But I think it's going to be great. I don't have I'm not hanging my hat on it for the rest of the year or anything, but it seems like it's going to be solid. And if they keep the promises they've made and they make the rest of the game as good as the beta was, I'm pretty happy. That's the only game I had to talk about, but you guys have other stuff to talk about. Dave, let's start with you.
Sure. The other game I've been playing, I mentioned this in Discord because it was free the day it came out. I believe this is last Thursday. This is a game called Gun Touchables.
Did you find out it was free a different way, or did you find out from me when I posted it in Dustin's server?
I'm in Ghost Ship's or Deep Rock's Discord. And
okay.
Deep Rock posted an announcement the day it came out that it was available, and then I looked it up and I didn't see a price. And then I went in and realized it was free on launch day, which is a really interesting strategy, and it was free for one day only. And it needs to be said that I think full price this game is $5. So even if it's not free, I'll say it right out there, this game is worth a buy because it's fun, it's simple, and it makes me laugh. So Gun Touchables, it's like an isometric twin stick shooter. You play as jelly bean shaped preppers in the zombie apocalypse, and it's just a silly game. It's got like roguelike elements. So basically you play through an expedition and you can pick from one of 4 preppers, and they have different starting weapons and different abilities. And each expedition has like 5 levels, and like in between those levels there'll be a shop that you can visit. It's a lot like Cult of the Lamb, where you kind of progress through and then the expedition ends with a boss fight. And it's simple. It doesn't do anything really new or crazy, but it's just fun. And it's I played mostly solo, but I did play one game with randoms, and it was still a lot of fun. But I think this is a game that's designed to be played with a group of people. And I think the developers have made it clear that this is a game that's going to evolve. They're going to add content, because at the moment there's only the 4 or 5 expeditions. And once you beat them, like you just play them with new difficulty modifiers. So, enemies have more health. There'll be different sort of attack modifiers that can be introduced mid-level, that kind of stuff. The one thing that I was a little disappointed in is, with a game with this much personality and humor, the arsenal of weapons is so simple. Like, it's like SMG, assault rifle, sniper rifle, shotgun. Like, you do unlock mods throughout the levels, like ice damage or fire damage, but it's all very like, I don't know. I thought they would have had a little bit more fun with the arsenal, and they really don't. So maybe that's something that's coming. But yeah, it's fun, and it's $5, and you're gonna have fun with your friends for a couple hours. So I encourage everybody to check out Gun Touchables if it's your sort of game. And I know some people in our Discord did pick it up last week when it was free. So Ben, I think I saw you got it. So yeah, you got it too. Nice.
Yep.
We should definitely check it out together.
I didn't see. Did you post about it that it was free?
I did post in our Discord
did.
that it was
okay.
free.
Yeah,
I must have missed it.
That's actually where I saw it there before I saw it anywhere.
Promotion,
I was going to
baby.
give you shit, by the way, for not telling me that there was a free game, but apparently you did, and I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
I want to point out that on the Steam community page for Gun Touchables, there's like a lot of really nice posts. There's a lot of the updates. They're showing off some art. There's reviews are featured, and then one guy just says, "Is the game woke?"
No,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. This is a woke game about an ever-evolving horde of mutants that look like jelly beans.
yeah, and then all of the different preppers, they say really funny lines. I went with, I think her name is Linda or something. She's like a scout leader or a veterinarian or something, and she I don't know, she just, the end of each level, she'll be like, "Oh, let's try some breathing exercises when we get home." She's just like a live, love, laugh kind of lady. And then I heard some of the other preppers when I was playing with randoms, and they say all really funny stuff too. So yeah, it's a funny game. But
Nice.
the other thing that I started playing last night was Sleeping Dogs. So this is a game I picked up 2 years ago. I finished it, and I kept it installed on my PlayStation because I kept looking at it and being like, I'm gonna get the platinum. I'm gonna go back in and get it. So I finally started that. And I'm at a really cool phase in this kind of game where it's like, I've completed the story. There's no difficulty related trophies that I have to earn. It's just go and do stuff in the open world. And it's not really a grindy platinum. Only one playthrough, obviously. It's just the perfect kind of platinum for me. I think the grindiest thing is, like, you have a reputation level in the game called Face. I don't know why it's called Face. You need to get that to level 10, but you do that by a number of different ways. And I don't know, just like a martial arts based GTA from whatever year that it launched, let's say 2012, 2010. It's just so good. I don't know if we're ever going to get a sequel. There was rumors that Simu Liu was trying to get a movie made out of this, which would be awesome. But I don't know. There's certain platinums that I think I just want in my collection. And for me, it's not necessarily the ones I'm proud to say I have this platinum, but it's more like, I think this game deserves everybody to go out and get its platinum because it's just right. 30 hours, no difficulty based, one playthrough. That's just perfect for me. So yeah, I'm having fun revisiting this game. And yeah, that's it for me.
Nice. I feel like that game, I've heard, I don't know, half a dozen people in the last year talk about it, and it's like, it's cool that it's still getting love.
Yeah.
All this time later. Speaking of getting love, Brandon.
Yeah, so aside from the Battlefield 6 beta, I've been playing. I talked last week about how I was considering starting the Mafia series, and kind of playing through, since I'm doing this whole play a series through all the games, at least the games I want to play. So shut up, Ben. Shut up.
I didn't say anything, man.
I know what you're thinking, fucker. But no. I just I did it. So I played through Mafia 1. And man, this game's really good. This game's really, really good. I played through the definitive edition that was redone by Hangar 13, which are the people who are responsible for Mafia. And man, it was awesome. It's one of the better remakes that I think I've ever played. Visually looks very, very good, like really good for a remake. very surprising, to be honest with you. And as well as the combat. They updated the combat drastically, and I feel like it plays and looks pretty fucking modern for how old it is. So I was very pleased with that. And I actually didn't know that Mafia 2 was not remade by Hangar 13. So I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, story was great. Classic like Italian mob story, but really cool. Really, really cool. Kind of bite size. Took me, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 hours, something like that. So just kind of got through that. Not a lot of fluff in there. Missions weren't incredibly complex. Just something cool to kind of derp around with for a little bit. But as I was saying earlier, Mafia 2 was not remade by Hangar 13, and my God, does it show. I was kind of hoping that going into a newer game that was remade would be better, and I was mistaken. Now, I think Mafia 1 came out, the remake came out sooner than the Mafia 2 remake, so I'm giving it a little bit of grace there. But it's been pretty rough on PC, I gotta tell you, boys. Not only does it look really bad, it plays really bad. So it's kind of the exact inverse of Mafia 1, and I'm a little bit disappointed. Not only that, but I'm having tons of just game-breaking, buggy shit happen to me. Some of it's kind of goofy. Like my guy he's supposed to put a hat on, but he didn't. But his hair texture looks like he has the hat on, so there's just like a huge clump where the hat should be, and it like squares off his head. Or like I'll hop up into the back of a truck, and the physics on my coat jacket will just be like I'm falling, like they're just up. And then like I'm walking through a prison yard, and this dude's shirt just like clips across the entire screen, and the texture for the shirt is just across my entire screen. That and the performance is awful. Like I was shooting up a building today, and I dropped to 30 and stayed there. Like I had to click escape to let the game refresh essentially, so my over 100 would go back up. Like it's not a very intensive game, but it performs like shit. It doesn't look very good. I'm still relatively enjoying it. Mafia 1 kind of took place in the like the 40s. So that was really a really cool timepiece. It's like a bad guy LA Noir. It's almost what it feels like. And then Mafia 2 also begins around that same time, and then there's an almost 10-year jump. I'm going to spoil it. If you care, it's fine. It's at the beginning of the game. The main character goes to jail, and he's gone for like 7 years. So when he comes back, things are a lot different. It's more, towards the 50s. Cars look different. The music is different. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of the game. It's been cool so far. It's just kind of difficult to play, honestly. The shooting in every given moment is kind of shitty, especially compared to the first one. But shout out to the first one as well. One more thing. The story was really, really good, especially like by the end. The story as a whole was actually kind of touching, and I liked it quite a bit. But yeah, Mafia 3 is going to be the payoff. I did play, I don't know, maybe between 10 and 20 hours of Mafia 3, and I really enjoyed it. It also has a lot of flaws that I remember, but I'm excited because it's definitely the newest of them. Almost 10 years old now, but still looking forward to that. But I'm playing RE6, unfortunately, still. I just finished the Chris Redfield campaign, and I'm reaching a point where I'm like physically getting angry at this game. Like I will play this game until I have to stop. Like it's one of those games where I'm starting to get to the point to where I can't take it anymore. So I'll play as much as I can before I get too aggravated, and then I'll just put it down, because I know if I get too aggravated and continue to muscle through, I muscle through only so much. But everything about this game is awful. This may be one of the worst games I've ever played, with no exaggeration. And it's not even good bad. Okay, the writing sucks. The game devs were lazy as fuck. They reuse a ton of the stuff. I know a lot of the stories are branching together, right? And the whole shtick is that, but they make you replay the same fucking mission, even if you play as the other character. They could have put them somewhere else in the game so you didn't have to do the same thing again. But it's bar for bar doing the same fucking thing again. It's so fucking lazy. It's so bad. I just went through the stealth section as Jake and whatever the fuck that name is from, that lady's name from Raccoon City that you saved. I am continually surprised by the levels of bullshit that this game is throwing at me. I hate this game. It's not just a bad it's not just a bad Resident Evil game, and I've said this before. It's a bad game. It is not fun. And even muscling through Leon's campaign, I would recommend anyone who's interested in playing this. I'm even playing with someone, which is the only shred of hope I have to finishing this game. Play the Leon playthrough. Struggle through that, because even that wasn't great. The Chris playthrough fucking sucks. I hated it the entire time. Awful.
So do you like it?
I hate it so bad. If you can't tell, I was getting so, like... You ever, like, just, like, you know, slam your hand down on the desk? Something happens. You've tried to do this one stealth section, like, 5 times, and for the millionth time in the middle of a cutscene, there's a fucking quick time event. Like, let me tell you something that happens in the Resident Evil 6 Chris playthrough, okay? There's a guy chasing you who is invincible. He is invincible, okay? And it's like a fucking 25-minute section where you're trying to sneak around this guy, and if you step on this certain section, he'll instant kill you. And so there's a doorway that you have to go through and mash a quick time event, okay? And then you go through another doorway, and it's the same kind of door. So you have to go through a second doorway and mash a quick time event, and he's breaking down the door. And then you have to go through a third of that same exact door and mash the quick time event. And then you have to go through a fourth and final door and mash the quick time event. This game is so chaotically bad. You cannot relax for a second because the amount of time they give you for some of these quick time events is ridiculous. I hate it with everything in me. And I will never, ever, ever play this game again once I'm done with it. I love every bit. Even Resident Evil 1 looks like the cherry on top of the cake compared to this fucking sack of shit. They should be ashamed is what they should be ashamed of this. They should delist it from every platform and give me my money back.
This is the last one you've got, right? And then you're done?
Yes. And it's so sad that I'm going to end on this note. Okay.
That's what I was going to ask is, do you wish you hadn't left this to the end because it's going to leave your saga on such a saggy note?
No, honestly, I'm muscling through this right now and gritting my teeth to get through it. But I can confidently say that the Resident Evil series, and I do want to play more of them. There are ones that I haven't played, and I know I caught shit about it. I can say with confidence is one of my favorite series of all time. I don't want anyone to give me shit about playing the remakes. I don't give a fuck. I'm not playing those old games. I like the games. That's it. But it will not leave a bad taste in my mouth because the other games are so good that this sack of shit cannot ruin that.
Hey, Ben, we've got a punishment for next year, though, eh?
Dude,
I wonder if your punishment would have been not as bad as playing RE6.
I fucking hate this game, legitimately. I'm sorry to go on it, but if you couldn't tell, I was like visibly pissed earlier trying to play this game. Like, I'm also playing Mage Arena, which is a fun, quirky game where...
Are you sure that's its name? It looks like something different here in the dock.
Mage Areola. I wish. Yeah, I'm lonely. Yeah, so it's a fun arena capture the flag type game that is very, very low poly and like shitty looking, but in a good way. You essentially hold up a spell book and then you say fireball and a fireball shoots. You have to like say it in your mic, and it's PvP. So I don't really understand it. I don't know how much of it I'm even going to play, but I played for like an hour the other night, and it was good fun. It was good fun, and the game's not expensive, so I think it's a cool pickup. Even if you fuck around for a single night for like $5, it's fun. So, and that's it. That's it. I will try to not go as hard next week on Resident Evil, but I had stuff to say today, and the wound is fresh. The wound is fresh, so maybe I should have cooled down. But
I liked it.
It
Not
feels,
the game. I like
yeah.
the hearing about it. He's got to pop in nicotine right away.
Dude, it's getting me stressed even thinking about it.
Mage Arena, my coworker and I were talking about it. We were like, we should get it for like the whole team should get it so we could play it for like I think it was $2.50 or $3 at the time. So I bought it, and then we haven't played it yet. But I told whoever I was on a Discord call playing games with that night, Jimmy and Justin, maybe even you, Brandon. I can't remember. And then a couple days later, I was playing a game, playing Battlefield with Dustin. And for those who don't know, Dustin loves friend slop games, as we affectionately call them. We and everyone else. And he was like, I got a bone to pick with you guys. And I was like, what did we do? Like, he sounded serious. I was like, I don't remember doing anything, but whatever. He's like, you bought a friend slop game without me. I was like, oops. I haven't played it if that helps.
Right, yeah. I gifted it to him that night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were all on there. Yeah. Yeah.
It was literally $4, so I was like,
Yeah.
I must write this wrong.
Not to belabor this, but I really respect what they did when it came out. They were like, hey, the game is really buggy and bad right now, so it's only $2.50, but when we fix it, it's going back up in price. Like, that was the first thing in their description on Steam, and I was like, I like that. I mean, I'm not saying you got to discount your game, but like, if you know it and you know it's going to affect sales, just come right out and say it. Like, the game's discounted because it sucks right now.
It's very transparent.
I bought it because they said that. Like, that's
Right.
one of the reasons I literally paid, even though it was only $2.50. That's one of the reasons I bought it. It's because I was like, I respect that. All right, boys, that's everything we got. I won't be here next week. I will be in Germany. I should be back the week after that. I get back like the night before at midnight or 2 a.m. and then I got to work that next day. So what? Why are you looking at me like that?
You're scheduled to get back that time, but
I am scheduled to get back as long as Air Canada doesn't screw me. I'm like the last helicopter. I told Dave this morning. I'm the last helicopter out of Saigon. Like, literally, I think my flight to Germany is one of the last flights to leave North America before the shutdown for the strike. And then we'll see about getting back. I'm either going to be spending some extra time in Cologne, or I guess they'll rebook you on a different flight, but they don't, like, if you have to stay, if you have lodging or whatever, they don't pay for that. So we'll see.
It is what it is, man.
safe travels, sir.
Thanks.
Enjoy
My
your Bavarian
niece-
beer.
My niece was here earlier today, and I like walked downstairs and I was talking, and somebody was like, well, if I don't talk to you before, have a safe trip. I was like, thanks. And my niece, who's like 6 or 7, goes, don't get in a plane crash. It's like, I don't really think I can influence whether or not I get in a plane crash, but I'll do my best. So that's it. All right. Show goes on, though, without me next week. So be here at 7 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern, or catch it later. And don't forget, we really could use your support on patreon.com/handsomephantom. It's not the end of the world, but we actually are in a position where we're like, oh, we could use some money right now. So fork it over. And join us on Discord at handsomephantom.com/Discord. We appreciate everybody. Derek goes, don't forget to play Borderlands 4 while you're there. I will not be able to do that. I can guarantee you, almost. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good night.